almost guessed. My boyfriend of about 3 weeks suggested we start an annual Christmas tradition. Let's exchange Christmas ornaments, he said. I hoped what we had would last, so we started. We'd exchange our presents at Tim's family's Christmas Eve party. I made a list of everyone I needed to purchase a present for that year, and I checked them all off. Check, check, check. All but one. That perfect Christmas ornament was distracting me. It had to be perfect because it was going to adorn our tree for years to come. The problem was I didn't define perfect. Now Merriam-Webster tells us perfect is entirely without fault or defect, not broken, and that it satisfies all requirements. So in order to find the perfect ornament, I had to define what perfect meant. For my ornament, if I had established a budget or some sort of criteria, how long it would take to find it, when I would have some sort of a deadline, I would have known it when I saw it. Instead, I had some sort of a vague idea that I would recognize it, that it would stand out to me. Sometimes the list of what it takes to be perfect reveals unrealistic expectations, ones that may not even align with what we value. From Christmas stores to Christian stores, from big box stores to small gift shops, if they had an ornament, I was scanning every shelf, searching every branch in search of the one. Finally, I found it. The ornament I wanted to adorn our tree. It was 3 wise men on a wooden base with a glass dome. But there were 2 problems. 1, I hadn't defined what perfect meant, and 2, my mom was with me. She convinced me that this ornament was too expensive and that I could find the one at a lesser price. And I could always come back if I couldn't. From that moment, I compared every ornament I saw to the wise men one. They all paled in comparison. Our pursuit for perfection is driving us to distraction. According to Mel Swartz, a psychotherapist and marriage counselor, in his article, The Problem with Perfection, referenced here, the closest thing to perfection is in the ability to be present. I'm not sure what I missed out on that year because I was always looking. The distractions that ornament kept me from, the memories that ornament kept me from holding dear. But I do know one thing I missed: peace. I was always searching. And by Christmas Eve, I still hadn't found an ornament. So as soon as I got off work, I drove to that Christian store across from town. And I pulled up just in time to see the sales clerks locking the door. In the movies, this would be that scene where the one clerk sees the desperation in my eyes and makes my dreams come true. But this is real life, and I drove away on that dark night, made even darker by the falling snow, as light after light turned off. Very few cars remained on the road. They were all celebrating. Then, in the distance, I spotted it. A bright glow from the store with the blue light specials. I pulled into the parking lot and ran into the store before they could lock me out. The Christmas section was in great disarray from last-minute shoppers. The shelves filled with red were a mess. There wasn't much there. The selection was sparse, but there in the midst of it was a nativity. A glass hand-blown glass nativity, surrounded by 7 other ornaments, and one was broken, but it would work. This was my reason I could show up not empty-handed. I drove home and had only a few minutes to wrap the present and change my clothes before Tim knocked on the door. Surrounded by his family, we exchanged our ornaments. I unwrapped a Mickey and Minnie ornament that says, "Our First Christmas." Why didn't I think of that? Anyways, he found it at the Christmas store in the mall right by where we both lived. It was the first store he went to and the only store he went to. After we were married, I told Tim about the rest of the ornaments in the set. He thought I should have saved them to decorate our sparse tree or as backups in case that one broke. Turns out he was right. The glass nativity looks more like a simple manger, as we've lost part of the Holy Family over the years. But that imperfect ornament is one I hold treasure because of memories it holds. My search for the perfect ornament almost left me empty-handed. It revealed problems that the search for perfect creates. Perfect needs to be defined. Expectations need to be realistic because our search for perfection is driving us to distraction. And I don't want you to miss out on the perfect